Hey guys, what's up? This is Campo and welcome back to my channel. And Alliance War season is finally upon us. It's season 28 after that very long break. I will say the game is not completely fixed, but at least parry is feeling a little bit better. Dex, maybe not so much, as I can attest to with my Grandmaster fights when it comes to Summer of Pain. But regardless, we are here. I've joined a new alliance. I'm now in SSx-1, which has a pretty good reputation in MCOC community for just being a good group of people and for consistently getting P1 or higher. So I'm very excited and also a little nervous about joining this new alliance. And on this first war, I have sort of what I've already deemed the true focus squad, because I've got some Quake fights mostly and a ghost fight, and Elsa, who also is at disadvantage because of the true focus node. So anyway, I'm going to start the clip right about now. And I'm starting this war on path 4. This is a path I usually don't take, but I have a feeling that because I have Elsa, it's going to kind of be like wherever the void is on the map, I'm probably going to end up going there. And this is a fairly common placement for void. When it comes to this Claire, she's really not that hard to fight if you are just careful. I think the goal here of placing her here is that she's going to be gaining lots of attack, and she has a very fast recovery after her heavies and her special one. So a lot of people may accidentally dash in a little late and get parried. So I'm using Ghost because the fight's just going to be over fast. I waited for a heavy attack there and then just phased and killed her. So I was definitely way over boosted. But at the same time, I was, like I said, it was my first war after like a 6-week break with a new alliance on a path I wasn't really familiar with. So I was like, why not just go all in with the boost here? Okay, so on this next one, this is a good placement because he's going to be giving you some extra debuffs from the node as well as the heal block. So Elsa is able to just shrug off these debuffs right away. As you can see, it only takes about 2 seconds and then they're gone, and she gains an attack bonus right from them. You could certainly use Mole Man for this fight as well, but Mole Man does have a limit of only 20 debuffs, and I think he actually will take a little longer to get the fight done. So, you know, if I wasn't as boosted as I was, there's always the chance of Mole Man going into frenzy by accident and then you losing your ability to shrug. So I think Elsa is a really good counter for that fight, and it was absolutely no problem. So unfortunately, this is going to be kind of boring for the rest of the time, but I have Mixmaster Korg, and at least today we decided that it was going to be a Quake fight. So I just wanted to kind of check my boosts and make sure that everything was good. So I did exit out of the fight just to make sure that it didn't crash or anything. And yeah, Korg, I was kind of nervous about this just because like I would told the guys like, hey, yeah, I'm a Quaker. I'm very confident. I've taken this node many times without getting hit. And at the same time, you know, this was my first time doing it for them. So I just wanted to kind of make sure that I was boosted enough to get through it. And, you know, in tier 1 and 2, when you have a Korg who is this stacked and you have class disadvantage, and I basically never run the recoil tree masteries, it's going to be a fairly long fight. But I've taken Korg so many times that, you know, at this point it's just kind of rote. So I'm just sort of letting this go through. In the off season, it was actually interesting. I did take him once with Professor X, and I had a slip up where I accidentally didn't dex and I took a special one, so I didn't finish the fight. But Professor X is actually a very nice counter for this Korg as well, because he can deal with the Mixmaster evade. You know, I think a lot of people use Omega Red. I know that MSD had a great video of Dr. Doom taking this back when Stubborn was a thing. I think basically this used to be a real problem placement, but over the years, well, over the months, people have kind of found lots of counters to Node 23 Korg, so that he isn't that much of a problem. And especially now that there's no Stubborn, you know, Quake just has a holiday. So I was able to finish with 100% health. I think I only dropped 1 heavy, and I took maybe one parry, so not too bad at all. And now, if you didn't see, I've moved on to path 1 of section 2. So this is Human Torch on the Vigor node, which means, you know, if you don't get him past the 25% thresholds, he is going to be regenning. So I think probably the best counter for this fight would actually be Void, just because he's Incinerate immune and you can basically stop the healing. But you know, some people like to use Mystics against the Vigor so that you can nullify the regens. And if that were the case, obviously Torch would prevent you from using a Mystic. So I figured I already had Quake, and the next fight was actually Electro. So I thought I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone and just use Quake. So as you can see, if the concussion is up when the timer expires, then the timer goes away until it hits the next 25% threshold. So as soon as it hits 75, the timer came back. And because I did not have a concussion up, I did get 1 regen proc. That is definitely possible. So when using Quake on this fight, you do need to keep that in mind. That time the concussion was up as the timer expired. So we are good until I hit 50%. And you will see in a moment, the timer comes back once you go through the next threshold. So that's why, even though this is a quote unquote easy fight, you do want to boost, because if you get really bad luck, he could get a lot of regen procs. And like, let's say the Korg was here, you know, I could potentially time out with Quake. So it is important to boost this fight, but now I'm getting really lucky with the concussions landing, and now the final timer is completely gone, so he should go down fairly easily, and it only took about 2.5 minutes, which isn't that bad at all. I remember when I was first learning Quake, one of the top people in the game, like Genser M or Trader Man, or like one of those guys back in the MMX days, had a Torch as their top champion. I think it was like a rank 2 Torch. So I remember dueling that Human Torch a lot as I was learning Quake. So I'm really comfortable with his animations, and that worked out. So we have Buffet, and I'm just going to talk about how you set up Buffet. First of all, when Electro dashes at you, he only does 1 medium dash, but right there I triggered Buffet. But because I went all the way to the wall first, I was able to proc another dex during the cooldown timer, which means that this dexterity precision buff is going to stay on me the entire fight, because I got it on. You can either do it during a concussion or during the cooldown timer of Buffet. And then once that thing is on you, as long as you don't accidentally drop a heavy, even if you get hit by accident, just don't drop the heavy, and then you'll never have to worry about Buffet. The other thing about Electro, like I said, is he does a single medium dash toward you, so you could actually stall getting to the wall, but I actually wanted to get to the wall as fast as possible, so that I could get the chance to get that dexterity buff stuck on me. So anyway, that was my first war with SSx, and it was kind of a boring war. 3 Quake fights, 1 ghost fight, and Elsa taking Void. I'm a little nervous about whether we're going to win or lose this one. It's actually very close, and we need some wins early to really position ourselves. But at least I didn't die in the first war, and looking forward to a fun season where I'll be taking some more interesting fights. So thanks for checking it out, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.